So this is kind of an experiment to see how objective I can be with my assertions of things. I'm not trying for clicks or anything like that. I'm just trying to speak about topics that will be difficult or hard to hear for some. Some will get upset, some will get sad or overly stimulated, but the intent is positive. So I'm one of the big believers in pain and other uncomfortable issues being the best teachers for us to grow as people. And that has been my experience, at least, because I've been in situations that are not the best. Abuse, some kind of sexual things that I wasn't ready for at sometimes. I didn't get molested or anything, and I don't want to say that. I don't want to minimize the impact on other people's lives when that actually happened. I just felt very uncomfortable at times with certain people. And I was able to move past that, past alcoholism from my dad's side, overly being obedient and passive in their own actions on my mother's side. I'm not trying to belittle them. I love them very much, but sometimes we have to realize that honoring your parents may not be what you thought it meant. And stuff like that. Those kind of topics, those are the ones that we're going to try to talk about. Death, life, love, all of those topics. But the main focus is going to be one thing, and that's unchecked ego. I am also a big believer in ego being useful for the most part, until it lets you know that you're worth something, and then how much you are worth depends on that ego, because it does help you love yourself and become a better person. But when it starts going to the side in which it thinks that you're better than somebody else, that you deserve more, that you are somehow chosen, that's when we have unchecked ego, and that's where I believe all the problems will lie. So I believe that it's useful, but I also believe that once it passes that point, it's no longer useful, and it's actually starting to be harmful, and it's immediately evident. There will be contradictions, there will be things that sound repetitive, but it all makes sense in the end. And sometimes I will be direct and will sound or appear dismissive or something like that, but again, it's with the best intent. I'm not trying to be that. It's just gonna sound weird at first, but when I explain the issue, it will make sense, I promise. But no, scratch that. I don't want to promise anything. Just trying to bring important topics to the table so that we can probably not talk about them if you're not comfortable, but see how dealing with them inside can help you grow. At least that's been my experience. I'm not going to deny that they made me uncomfortable at some point, but I don't know if we can call it bravery or foresight or just sheer dumbness, that I said, you know what, just dive into them. Fuck it. I don't want to create another monster in the world, because the way I was feeling at times with some of my actions did make me feel like a monster. I was becoming somebody that, by the sheer mention of their name and being attached to how special they were, made me think that I was above somebody else. I probably did, believing that chosen or being chosen. And I didn't like that, but once I was, when I was little, I made a full, firm conviction to myself that I was never going to let money be an issue for me to be happy. eventually I've learned that money comes and money goes. That the same is real. The only people who won't always have money are those who cheat and lie, or their ancestors cheated or lied or somehow made fools of somebody to gain that position. And that's all that being rich really means, because you're not doing this to harm anybody. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are not like that. But you end up being the same thing, because you rely on systems that exploit people's times with their families, with themselves, far away from them learning how best they can contribute to society. And that alone makes you accomplice to, or makes you attached to the issue at hand, which is the general state of affairs in the world. That's the thing, that you complain about all these problems that poor people cause, but the one that causes poor people is you, directly or indirectly, either through exploitation or lying or cheating, or if you laws that you are able to purchase whenever you wish. If it weren't for any of those practices, nobody would be able to get that rich. And then, I mean, just to be honest, in the short end of things, you are draining other people's lives, other people's times out of their existence, out of their experience. And you're doing it for profit of something that we could all share and make better things with, instead of just accumulating there in some bond because some guy told you that if you let them there, they'll appreciate it with time. But I mean, is it worth it really to waste other people's times that way? Just so that what? You can buy more things? I mean, I'm pretty sure that none of you will ever hear this, but I'm talking to the unchecked ego that is you, the carbon copy of who you are. And I'm talking about the carbon copy of that unchecked ego that has made it impossible in the past to be a sustainable practice, because it's never worked. You get incredibly wealthy with your practices or your grandparents' practices, which make you think that you're the owner of the capital, and you treat others' times, the very people who make you rich, that make you important as you call yourself, those very same people, some of which are relentless in their attempts to lick your boots just to be sure to try to get a little bit of that taste of what you call honey, which is just money, and deliriums of controlling things that you can't control. Somehow you do. You get to repeat our success, our personal success, with your greed and your hunger for power that shouldn't exist, because you're not more than anybody. I'm not trying to be judgy or threatening, but this is what it is, man. You're not worth more than me, I'm not worth more than you, that's it. People who believe otherwise are the ones that still use their gods as excuses to make them do horrible things. And those same gods are the ones that allow them to be dicks, because they made a loophole there that if you repent at the end, then you'll all be forgiven. But how are we going to feel knowing how many lives you've destroyed, or you're hoarding us costs to extinguish within still being alive? Because that's what you do. You drain people out of their expectancy of love and happiness and compassion and empathy. You strip us of that. And that's not to say that we're perfect. I mean, that mentality, that mediocre mentality, doesn't just generate itself. It comes from us. We become those people. We become those people that somehow get money and decide to move elsewhere, away from the community that makes them what they are to some extent. And then we make them think that that's okay, and we call them successful. That's why it's never going to happen. And we get rid of accumulation and greed and hoarding. But man, and I've seen them every day here, even where I live. I mean, it's not very enriched community. But people get money here all the time through shady businesses or things like that, and then they eventually just become that rich dude that tries to take over everything and move to a nicer zone because the community that made him what he is not worth it. And then they started shopping at expensive stores, giving more money to the people who already have a lot, instead of throwing that money back into the community that actually made them what they are. That's why people don't have that kind of nationalistic intent, because a nation to them is just a team that they can vote for and they can be on and presume to be patriotic just because somebody in the TV tells that if they wave a flag and wear a shirt and say the right things and sing the right songs, then they will be able to enjoy the benefits of being within that club. But countries are just ideological prisons, because we prevent ourselves as a human race to advance further just because we keep on fighting over that kind of stupid shit. And I'm not saying that I don't love my country, but it's land that I love, and I love every single fucking part that I've been to. Because it's life, that's what it's supposed to do, to show you things and make you enjoy them. Not to be greedy and keep on accumulating. What good does that do? What good has that ever done? The same people keep the money, and the same people rot the system, and the same people rob people of their time, and it keeps on being the same thing. They charge us all for their stupidity and their greed and their cowardness and their callous intentions, because they don't feel it anymore. They've never had love in their lives, so they don't know what the fuck that is, and they don't know what empathy would really mean to a human being, except for it being one of the things that actually separate us from a lot of the animals that we feel superior to. Yeah, we keep on fighting like them for what? For wars, for profit, so that rich people's friends can get even richer selling drugs and guns and things that compose those guns. And for what? We're wasting all that money on defense just to what? To keep on fighting and doing it all over again? Man, you don't know how great life is in that case, and I'm sure because of that idea, I'm sure that it's very hard, or if not impossible, for a rich person or a wealthy person to be happy in their lives, because they waste all that time pursuing something that we ourselves invented and we gave value to. It is really silly to me. I'm not going to call it dumb, because I mean, I see the purpose of money, but it should be transactional, not accumulative. Money is for transactions. That's what it was invented for. Why the fuck are we giving it so much importance that we let it be the reason why somebody can kill someone and get away with it, or rape someone and get away with it, or damage somebody else's time in a horrible fashion and get away with it with no consequence, just because they can buy the loss? I mean, just look at what's happening right now. I was trying to make a video that started with this phrase. It's pretty good year so far. And I know it's not clever, but the intent is to either say that it's been going well or that it's been going horrible, and then I'm aware of both contexts, because in my personal life I'm really enjoying it, and I love my wife and I love my child, and it's hard raising him, but I mean, it's a fucking great experience. And I couldn't say that otherwise if I married somebody who I didn't love, who I just stick my dick into and made a baby with. So I was kind of reckless at times in that regard, but I was also very careful who I actually shared my life with. Even for a couple of months or 3 months, I enjoyed every single one of those experiences, and even when it was hard and horrible and sad, it was worth it, because I was able to learn from every single one of those experiences, and I was able to learn that I was capable of not allowing me to go through the same thing twice. So I started growing as a person by learning that my actions had consequences and that other people's actions should also have consequences as well. And I'm not saying about egotistically taking over their lives. I'm just saying if somebody's not the right fit for me, then I shouldn't be there wasting time, my time and theirs, just because my unchecked ego wants it to be that way. And again, this happens every single time, everywhere. That's why rich people especially don't have any kind of empathy or joy in their lives, because they do not care what other people go through as far as they are able to keep accumulating. They lose all their time with wives that they didn't want to marry. Those wives are obviously with somebody most of the time that doesn't want them and they don't want them, but it's convenient for them, or he's rich. What can go wrong in my life? I'm able to buy whatever I want, right? They never learn love, and they pass that on to their children, and they become as callous, if not more, because they grow without actually somebody showing them empathy, and their natural empathy is there, but it somehow gets diminished even faster because distance and absence and lack of attention make up for the love that was supposed to be there. And it's that cycle that doesn't allow us to make even the thought of money being impossible to get rid of. Because it's the idea is really simple. We just cooperate. We all keep on doing what we're doing, and we just stop depending on money. Stop giving money to the wealthiest people alive. Because we make all the work and we are paid shit. So if we make all the work, let's keep on the machine moving. We just don't pass we don't pass the money to the people who already have everything. And I promise you, in 10 years, everything's going to change, and we're going to stop fighting, and we're going to actually start focusing on things that actually matter, like a super volcano killing us, or a powerful solar flare taking all of our electronics off, or a comet that we haven't detected yet and coming in and fucking everything up. I mean, anything can happen, and we have the brains to get out of any of those kind of situations, but we need to stay focused on what's important, which is making sure that we focus on those things, that we are happy in our lives so that we can better cooperate with our communities and be useful to them with our talents, with our own wants, with our own loves, with our own wishes. Being selfish, selflessly, that's the idea. That's how I've been looking at my actions since a long time ago. Actually, since I started smoking weed, I see them as good for the community, but also good for myself, because I actually enjoy making those actions. And it's not something to be presumptuous about. I'm trying to make myself seem more important than I am. But looking at those things or those actions in that manner or in that fashion has helped me a lot. And keep on doing them. And it's rewarding for myself, so it becomes important, and it makes me grow, and it makes me feel appreciated of every single moment that I'm able to spend with my family. And it's hard, because sometimes the family aspect is hard to deal with. And I'm not talking about my wife, I'm talking about my immediate family. It's hard sometimes when they've been brought up in systems such as these that even poor people take advantage of, because poor people are also within those mediocre ranges of thought. They just want everything for themselves, and they don't give a fuck if they hurt other people, or if they are think of as less just because they can gain a bit from you. It's fucking sad that we keep on doing that to ourselves. And I will talk about all that as well. But for now, I'm just diverting. This was just a test, just to make sure to dare to start this project, because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I think it's something that's going to be beneficial to my son, and if it helps anybody else, it's great. I mean, I'm happy that it does. And if it helps me, my album helped me, then I'm also going to be grateful if it does something for you as well, because it's with the intent of finding love and finding purpose for our communities and for our ideas and how we discuss them, because we're fucking up fast. It's really easy to speak to each other if we don't let the rights or the lefts or the sides or the ups or the downs control our thoughts. If we just keep on critically thinking and being independent from the media thought and misinterpretation or purposeful and misleading and maniacal interpretation of the reality that we live in. Because everything can get fixed really, really fast if we stop depending on unchecked ego to run things. Because it's been over 20,000 years, guys, and this is the farthest of worst ideas that we've had, allowing such dumb people be in charge. Dumb, corrupt, and violent and abusive people that keep on killing us and keep on diminishing our intent to be happy and making it seem like it's impossible to find love when it's really easy if you just are patient. Patience is something they don't enjoy and they don't like and they don't want because they want everything immediately and flashy things and expensive things, because apparently expensive means quality, and you can see by their attitudes that that's not at all the case. And I'm not speaking about rich people only. I mean, we're all guilty of that sometimes, but man, if we don't start learning from those actions and we don't start learning about how we make other people feel when we're dicks, then that's a horrible thing or a horrible way to live life. And I just wish everyone the best. And hope you can enjoy this, and if you keep on listening to me, thank you. And if you don't, I appreciate any time that you have given me to try to talk about things that are, again, difficult and somewhat impossible sometimes to talk about, but I mean, they need to be spoken about because we're running out of time, and idiocy is going to get the best of us, and it's going to take us out, I'm pretty sure, if we're not careful enough. But yeah, I'll see you on the next videos, and again, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible, as truthful as possible, honest as possible. I don't like the word truth because of its origin, so I'll be honest, or try to be as honest as I can, and without trying to hurt anybody. If that's what happens, I'm really sorry. That wasn't what I meant. But I really am glad that you listened to me, and hopefully you can keep on listening, because it'll all make sense at the end. Everything will make sense of what I'm saying. Sometimes it can be contradictory or repetitive, but we're dealing with a repetitive issue, which is unchecked ego, and I think taking care of that will help us a lot, at least to get started and find better ways of doing stuff without letting dumb people be who manage things. I mean, okay. So thank you again for listening, and I hope you have a great day. See you soon.